especially my patients. So today I'm going to be taking you through the concept of a high energy diet. Now, why is it so important to focus on energy? That is because I was given a brief when I came to present. I think it was Dumi. Dumi said to me, the ladies at this point, most of them are so tired. I just want to see by way of hands, is anyone in here tired? I don't want to be speaking to myself. Okay, so we're going to relate to the topic. I just wanted to be sure. So, and also fatigue is not just a physical fatigue, it's also one that is also mental, isn't it? Especially if you're studying. So it relates to also that kind of fatigue. So we're going to be going through that. So how are we going to be breaking down this topic? We are going to be first looking at the don'ts, because sometimes as a way of energizing ourselves, we do what we know, right? What has always been working, whether it's effective or not, we just default to what we know. And you'll be surprised to find that these are some of the don'ts. And then we'll look into the calorie concept. I will break that down. We will look into high energy foods, key nutrients, lifestyle habits, and if whether supplements have a role in high energy. All right. So let's start first with the don'ts. Now, I don't know how many people can relate to the don'ts. All right. So the first, okay, let me just say them first. Caffeine, alcohol, and junk food are the don'ts. And I can remember when I was still studying, I think that's over 10 years ago, I was guilty of almost all of them in a way to survive. So why are they here? The reason why is because I know a lot of people, they'll default to taking in a lot of coffee because they'll say, look, if I haven't had my cup of coffee, I can't focus. I really can't. I have to start with coffee for me to be attentive. So what did we find in science? What are the facts? Okay, so the role of caffeine in mood, attention, processing speed, and memory has been studied. All right, so please don't Google this. Google will probably disagree with me. So let's just stick to the facts. So when it came to mood, the bottom line is that caffeine will lead to anxiety. That's just the bottom line. Okay, so I don't know who wants to be anxious before an exam. I know not me. Okay, the last thing you want right now is to be anxious. I think you have already enough anxiety on your own to be enhancing the anxiety levels. And then when it came to attention, there was no benefit. So it doesn't necessarily make you less attentive, but it's not going to make you more attentive either. So it doesn't really play a role in attention. So there was no significant effect there. And then when it came to processing speed and memory, actually, it does enhance your memory and your processing speed. And I think that's why it's so popular that some people say, I swear by coffee. If I have coffee, I know I'm going to do well. And that's how we got here. But if you look into the fact that excessive caffeine intake can have a negative impact on iron absorption, you'll see why it's a don't. Okay, even if it works for you now, you'll see when I get to key nutrients, why this is something you should be taking very seriously. Caffeine binds to iron, and then it limits its absorption. So you might end up being iron deficient because of coffee. And a lot of people are anemic and they don't know it. A lot of people are tired and they don't know that they're anemic. The reason why they're anemic is because they're drinking coffee. You see the link. So where else do we get a caffeine besides coffee? We get it in black tea. So your Glen, Joko, what else? Five Roses. That's where we get caffeine. Yes, and we also get caffeine in energy drinks. Now, I know energy drinks are also very popular nowadays. Your Play, your Monster, Red Bull, and the likes. A lot of people be like, look, just before the exam, I know what I have to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to survive. Please don't. Okay. Firstly, there's not enough scientific evidence to rule out the long-term negative effects. So, and I don't think there's any dietitian out there who's going to study energy drinks for their PhD. I know I'm not. So we're not going to look into it. So just stay away. Okay. So there's just not enough evidence. But there was studies that were done on caffeine and how it interacts with some of the ingredients in energy drinks. And that was not good. Okay, so energy drinks, we know they have caffeine and they also have sugar and they also have other, I mean, there's St. John's wort in the one. There's so much nonsense in energy drinks. And when they combine or they interact with caffeine, they actually have a negative impact on cognitive function. So that's reason enough not to take them. So the only thing they do is to keep you awake. So yeah, that's the only thing, but it doesn't help you awake, but you're not really taking in what you're studying. All right. And then what about alcohol? I put it here because it's a rookie mistake. I know a lot of people say, look, it's been a long day. I'm going to just wind down with a glass of wine. It helps to ease off the nerves or whatever. Look, light to moderate alcohol consumption has a positive effect on cognitive function. So cheers to that. But that's the thing, light to moderate. Okay, light to moderate is 1 or 2 glasses a week. All right, so if you're doing more than that, you are not benefiting from this positive effect. Okay, so this effect is overridden by the negative effects of alcohol dependency, because you could become addicted. So be careful. So, and the negative effects of excessive alcohol drinking. I don't think we need a study to determine that a hangover is bad for your cognitive function. So if you're drinking in excessive amounts, you're going to negatively affect or have a negative impact on your own attention and cognitive behavior. So you might want to just not rely on alcohol at this time. And then what about junk food? We know refined carbohydrates have also been found to cause fatigue, something that I don't think needs a study. If you eat a high carb meal, especially junk, do you feel energized or do you want to sleep? Want to sleep, come on. Okay, so we know that. So junk food also replaces nutritious meals. The reason why I also put it as a don't is because if you're going to be having a burger meal, a regular meal, when are you going to have the tuna salad that you're actually supposed to be having? You won't. Okay, and if you're busy snacking on a packet of crisps and some jelly sweets or whatever, when are you going to have your Provitas and rice cakes? You won't. Okay, you've already had your snack. So the problem with junk food is that it replaces meals that were supposed to nourish you. So that's why at this time, it's very important while you plan out your time, also please do your meal prepping. Okay, don't forget about your meal preps. So this is everything that we're not supposed to be doing at this time. So now let's focus on what we should be doing. All right, what should we be doing? Well, we start first with the calorie concept, getting in enough energy. If you say you're tired, it basically means you don't have enough energy, right? So where do you think that energy is going to come from if you're not eating? And I say this because I know that a lot of people, when they're under a lot of pressure, be it academic pressure or work pressure, they skip meals. They'll say, I was too busy. The day just, by the time I was available, it was 2 and I had a meeting. So I ended up eating at 4. And then when you go home, I was too tired. So I didn't have dinner, I just slept. Okay, so that can happen as a circumstance of your schedule and what has been happening in that day, but don't skip meals. Make time for meals. Someone sitting next to me told me they haven't eaten today. So it happens. She's been busy all morning, right? So it does happen. So don't let that happen to you. I don't think she has an exam to write in 2 weeks, so she can get away with that. But if you know you're going to need your energy, and remember, the brain functions on energy as well. So don't neglect your brain. It also needs the energy. So you can't be skipping meals. So then what are the amount of meals, or how many meals should one be eating? 3 meals at least. Eat your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. That hasn't changed over the years. I think we know this. So eat your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. And you can even add a healthy snack to that because most people like to snack when they're studying. So eat the right amount of calories daily. And how we do that is not by complicating our lives with calorie counters and apps and things like that. Just eat the 3 meals I've just told you to eat. And that's all the energy you need. And then distribute the macros to each meal. Because someone say, yeah, but I did eat. What did you have? I had a banana. But okay, so you have carbs. Where's your healthy fats? Where's your protein? So the macronutrients that we're looking at is carbohydrates, proteins, and healthy fats. Okay, so each meal should have at least 2 of these, ideally 3. And at a time like this, I would say each meal should have carbs and a healthy fat. We'll get to that now because that is where you get your most energy from. Proteins don't give us energy, okay, but I'll tell you what they give us. So make sure that your breakfast has carbs, your lunch has carbs, and your dinner has carbs, okay, as well as the healthy fats and protein. It is very important. So I know some of you are already worried. You're trying to lose weight or you're worried about getting fat and things like that. I don't want to eat that much and I'm cutting out carbs. What now? Look, there is the right type of carbs and then we also get the bad types of carbs. Okay, so make sure that you're going to go for the right types of carbohydrates, which brings us to the next slide, basically talking about the high energy foods. Like I said, we get energy from carbohydrates and fats. All right, so what kind of carbohydrates? Low glycemic index carbohydrates. Stay away from processed or refined carbohydrates. They will not give you the energy that you seek. All right, so we're looking for low GI carbs. And why is that? That is because low GI carbohydrates are slow releasing carbs. So the energy distribution is gradual. Okay, unlike if you eat now and 2 hours later, you want to chow and munch on something again, and then 2 hours later, it's you again. So low GI carbs will keep you at a constant when it comes to your energy metabolism. So the examples there, we have a lot. We've got fruit, we've got vegetables, legumes, and some low GI grains like oats, sorghum, low GI bread, quinoa, bulgur wheat, brown rice, provitas. The list is endless. Okay, so you do have a lot of options. So you can't say, no, I'm staying away from carbs. So there are options there. And then what about healthy fats? Healthy fats, we get them from avocados, nuts, nut butters, your olive oil, olives, seeds. These are your healthy fats. So make sure that you incorporate these fats to every meal. All right, so if you're having a salad, you can put some avocado there or have some nuts in your salad. If maybe you want to have a breakfast and you're trying to incorporate healthy fats, add some seeds to your yogurt, have some avocado with your omelet, something around those lines. And even when you're snacking, if you bought yourself a packet of rice cakes and you say, okay, I'm going to now snack on rice cakes, then you can have an avocado dip there on the side as well, or some almond butter there to go with your crisps. Okay, so it's really easy to incorporate these high energy foods. So there's no excuse, to not taking enough energy. It's easy enough. You look at your carbs and your fats. Now, what are the key nutrients? B vitamins, iron, antioxidants, and omega-3. If you want to take a note, these are the kind of notes that you need. B vitamins are really important with energy metabolism. Now, how? So basically, B vitamins, especially the B12, plays a role in oxygen transportation of the red blood cells. Okay, so without B12, along with iron has the same role, oxygen transportation with the red blood cells. So you need to have enough of this in your diet. So where do we get vitamin B12? In animal products. Okay, so if you're vegetarian or vegan, or you're fasting and you're not eating meat for this period, or make sure that you're supplementing then with vitamin B12 and iron. Okay, but for those who do eat, then you're looking at your lean red meat, lean chicken, meaning chicken breasts. You're looking at fish, you're looking at eggs, low-fat dairy, all the animal products. They've got enough vitamin B12. So make sure that they're also part of the diet. Okay. And then what about iron? So we get two types of iron, heme iron and non-heme iron. Okay, so you need both types of iron in your diet. All right, otherwise we'll have to get a supplement. So where do we get non-heme iron? This is where we now get it from spinach. There's a whole list, but I'm going to focus on spinach because it is the highest source. So make sure you eat your greens, and it's easily accessible, isn't it? So make sure you get your spinach, your baby spinach. That's where you'll be getting most of your non-heme iron. And then the iron, you get it from the same sources as B12 from meat. All right. Now, meat is not the healthiest, but this is why I put meat in my diet, because it does have a role. So I always say, be a disciplined meat eater. Okay, I feel like people should have a license to eat meat. If you don't know how to eat meat, you have no business eating meat, because meat, like a gun, like a car, if you do it wrong, it's going to kill you. It's going to give you a heart attack. So eating fatty meat, eating whatever type of meat, putting all the salt in the world, you're going to die. Okay, so it's another way of killing yourself if you didn't know. So how do we eat meat then? How do we prove that we are licensed meat eaters? Eat lean meats. Okay, remove all the visible fat. You can see from the image, there's no visible fat on that piece of steak or rump or sirloin, whatever it is. Okay, that's the kind of red meat you should eat. Even in a stew, buy the goulash or the ones that, the meat that has the fat already removed. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. And you walk right past it, don't you? You go for the one with the fat. Pretend it doesn't exist. That's the kind of meat you should be eating. And then with the chicken as well, remove the skin. Okay, because I can't stand here and say eat meat. Next thing you know, you are there, that you say, but you said I should eat meat. Was it not true in the morning? So eat the right type of meat. Okay, and that's where you're going to get your iron and B12. And then what about antioxidants? Antioxidants are basically vitamin A, C, E, zinc, and selenium. Now, they help with the neutralization of free radicals. Now, free radicals are basically all the toxins that we get from the environment. You get them in water, the air pollution, they're everywhere. Hand cream, sanitizers, toxins are everywhere, right? So they can build up in the body, and that can also lead to fatigue. So from the diet, we have what we call antioxidants. They basically neutralize all those free radicals and toxins, and they can actually help you with energy metabolism. So you get that from your from your vegetables, like for instance, vitamin A, you get it from your dark green leafy vegetables. So spinach is here again. Vitamin C, you can get it from basically all your fruit. Vitamin E, we get that from healthy fats, such as nuts and seeds, and also have zinc and selenium, which you also can get from plant-based foods. So eating your vegetables, fruit, and also your nuts and seeds will get you all the antioxidants that you need. All right, are we still following? Or is it a lot to process? It's information, but you don't know how to use it now. It can happen. I know with diets that's what normally happens. I will summarize everything for you shortly. Let's look into the lifestyle habits. We cannot forget the impact that water has as well on energy metabolism. Some people are not tired, they are dehydrated. Okay, so if you're dehydrated, of course you won't have energy and you can't remember what you studied. Okay, so drink 1 liter of water for every 30 kilograms that you weigh. So, okay, so how many of us here weigh 60? 60. You're lucky, you're below 60. Okay. Okay, well, not a lot of us can boast to be weighing 60 or below. So, but if you were weighing 60, you need to drink 2 liters of water. Okay, so if you know you don't weigh 60, why are you not even drinking the minimum 2? Because 2 liters is for people who weigh 60. So you're not even making that. Okay, so you can, I know I'm talking to chartered accountants, you've already done the maths. Most of you already know how much water you should drink. But if you weigh anything around 90 and above, it's 3 liters, right? Yes. So that's how much water you need. So now ask yourself, am I really drinking enough water? Probably not. Okay? So look into that because the answers could be right there. And then exercise is also very important when it comes to energy. Exercise around 180 minutes weekly. Now, some people will say, if I exercise, I'm so tired after that, I can't do anything. That's probably because you're doing too much too soon. You cannot be exercising for 3 months and wake up and run 10 kilometers. Okay, that's a bit too much. Or doing a 1-hour class of HIIT when you know very well that you're not very fit. So start small, do what works for you. Even if you break down this 180 minutes into 6 days, doing 30 minutes every day, that's doable. Or 45-minute sessions 4 days a week, that's also doable. Or 3 days of 1-hour sessions if you're that fit. Okay, so make sure that you get in the exercise and then sleep. Get 8 hours of sleep daily. So it's not even about the quantity, it's about the quality. Quality sleep. Okay, quality. 8 hours of undisturbed sleep. Okay, I know I've got toddlers that wake me up at night. So I don't know who else has that problem. Send prayers. We are definitely getting interrupted sleep. Okay, so, but if you can get 8 hours of sleep daily, that would help. All right. So that's what we're looking at. So what about supplements? I know some people supplement at a time like this because everything I've said, for some of you might feel like I won't be able to eat all of that. I'm not doing any of that. I need a supplement. You can supplement. All right. You can supplement. So you need antioxidants, you need B vitamins, and you need iron. I know Phytomulti from Metagenics has all of that in one. So if you don't like taking in 100 tablets in front of you, you can just do 1 tablet that has everything. There's the Phytomulti with iron from Metagenics. You can get that. Or any other supplement that you know that will give you what you're looking for. I can guarantee you now, if you know you're not going to implement everything that I've said for whatever reason, please supplement. Okay, you'd be surprised. Some people, they're not doing well academically because they're not getting in the right nutrients. Okay, so supplements will help enhance your own potential. I remember when I was in high school, I was always a bright spark up until grade 10. I was so over everything. And my mom got me, at the time, brain full. And I started getting my A's again. And now when I look back, what was brain full? Because I asked myself, what was that? And I realized it was just a B complex. It was just vitamin Bs. Okay, so it could be the difference why you're getting a C instead of an A. So think about that if you really want to do well, and it is obviously harmless. Like I said, I cannot speak for other supplements. I can only speak for the ones that I have here. And then also omega-3, it is a key nutrient. EPA and DHA are fatty acids. They are omega-3, especially the DHA is essential for memory and cognitive brain function. Fish is a good source of omega-3. So when it comes to omega-3, if you eat fish, there's no need to supplement. Okay. How many of us here eat fish twice a week? See why you need to see me. You should be eating fish at least twice a week. Ideally 4 times, but at least twice. And it's alarming to find that no one is eating fish that much. I wonder can we maybe find out why you're not eating fish that much? Just two people, what are your reasons? Okay, expensive, man. No fish, yes, it's fish. Right, but the one oh, the dry snook. Yeah, that one is just asking for trouble. You're gonna be dehydrated from all that salt. You're gonna have a bit of a problem. Just normal healthy fish. So someone said it's expensive. And any other reason? Someone said it's not. So so which one is it? It is.
Like the variety of fish, salmon is very expensive.
Yes.
You're looking at a cheaper version of
yeah. Which fish are we talking about? Tuna is not that bad. Yeah, tuna is not that. Sardines. Ibo, you don't eat tin fish? Tin fish is cheap. But you can buy canned sardines, the small ones. You don't need a lot of fish. And I mean, who eats a lot of fish anyway? Just a small portion is all you need. Okay, those canned sardines, canned tuna. Yeah, salmon is on the other end, right? Yeah, but you can. Pardon? I will do the questions. I will definitely do the questions. But yeah, look, I don't think a lot of people are eating fish, and that is why I put it under supplements, because I know a lot of people don't eat fish, and I could go on and on about why you should, but if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it, aren't you? So let's just move on to supplementing with the right type of supplements. You will be looking at the fish oil, the soft gels. So be careful of the plant-based versions of omega-3 that say, oh, but this is also omega-3 and it's not fish. Oh, okay, I'm going to take that. Remember, they are a different type of omega-3. They are the ALA version. We are looking for the DHA version of omega-3, which you only find in fish or in fish oil tablets. So you can also look into that as part of your supplements. And also, just before I get to the summary, with the B vitamins, you can also just get a B12 injection. If you know your exams, how long do you still have? 2 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. If you know, like, I'm not going to make it, I've heard everything, but I'm not going to make it. Maybe about 3 days before, ask your doctor to just give you a shot, just to keep you alert if you fail to implement everything. Or you can do the drip. I remember after my maternity leave, I did the jet fuel drip. Yeah. It was a lifesaver. I was so tired and so drained, but the drip, the B12 drip, really did help. So please don't do it at those fancy drip clinics on Instagram. Please go to an actual medical center for this. So I don't want to start trouble. Okay. I cannot speak on behalf of the clinics that I've seen popping up for drips, and I see celebrities, they're there. Look, I don't know what's going on, but the drip I'm referring to is the one that you get scripted by an actual doctor. Okay, so you could do that, but otherwise, if that's not your thing, this is what you could be looking at. And then now let's summarize. I've said a lot. I summarized in the way of pictures, enough. Let's get to the point. Now, what did I say? I said, don't skip meals. So as you can see here, I already have 3 meals and a snack. So this is how you do what? You get enough calories. And what else did we do? We've distributed all the macros in all these meals. Okay, and what else have we done? We have enough low GI carbohydrates in each meal. Okay, and we have healthy fats in each meal again. So you see, when you now put it into visuals, how easy it is. Okay, because I know some of you won't come to me before you write exams, so I might as well just give you the answers. So this is a sample menu for someone who is definitely not watching their weight. Okay, so you can have oats, you can have for lunch, for breakfast, and then for lunch, you can have yourself a chickpea couscous salad with all the lovely greens that I spoke of. And for dinner, you can have yourself a prawn stir fry. You can have that, say, maybe with bulgur wheat or something, or quinoa, it's up to you, or brown rice even. And then as a snack, you can have yourself some whole wheat rice cakes. You can have avocado or low-fat cottage cheese or nut butter as a spread, and you can put whatever you want on there. Is this difficult? Difficult too? To cook, difficult to cook. Yeah. Try beans. So they're a legume. You can look at the other options, because we can't look, your concerns are valid. If you don't like a certain food, I always say don't force yourself. Yeah, this food I don't eat, and I'm not going to force myself to eat them. So go for the alternatives. If you're not into chickpeas, then you could do beans. If you're not into beans, then you can do lentils. If you're not into that, try another type of legume. All right. So this is so what else is difficult about this? Someone said it's difficult. What was else difficult? Meal prep. So meal prep. So a lot of people struggle with meal prep. So what part of preparing? The cooking itself? So that's why we have to meal prep. Then you have noodles, yes, the refined carbohydrates that we spoke of. So that's where meal prepping comes in. So it boils down to time management. Okay, you make time to study, we make time to work, we make time to exercise, now we make time to eat. So you just have to squeeze it in there. We all have 24 hours. Some people are meal prepping and eating just fine. So it's just a matter of being conscious of the fact that it has to be part of your day. If you are not actually setting time aside for it, it won't happen. Well, if you think about this is a lot of meal prep, you're right. So you need to say, okay, when will I do this? And once that's done, then you can start implementing. But without planning and prepping, there's no way you'll eat like this. Okay, yeah? Yeah. Still on the slide, right? On the slide. On the slide.
Yeah, I was asking, so the advice is for us for now, for the 3 weeks and for the future, ne?
Absolutely. It's for
Because
3 weeks and the future.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Ah, that's
No,
another one.
you know
Expensive.
what I mean by expense, right? I struggle with having a healthy habit of eating because I find myself buying things every week. That's an you tend to buy a lot. Like every week you buy. Then you're like, yo, 2.5, 5. Like so if I can find a way, you see if you can give me a tip now of how to manage my diet effectively, efficiently, and financially feasibly.
On a budget. Basically healthy eating
Exactly.
on a budget.
Yeah.
How do you go about it? Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's so easy to eat healthy on a budget. It's actually more expensive not to. You just haven't looked at it like that because takeaways are expensive, ladies and gentlemen. Buying out. You think it's cheap. That meal you have 30 rand, you think it's cheap. You're gonna have 2 of those that day. And then tomorrow again, calculated, you are the you do the maths. I know in a week, how much is that? And if you meal prep, proper meal prepping is actually sitting down and looking at your week ahead and say, what are going to be my carbs for the week? What can I stretch? Let me tell you, a packet of rice cakes like this will last you a week. You think you're going to finish this whole thing of rice? You know how dry that thing is. You're not going to finish it in one day. It will last you. And I know people say nuts are expensive. I buy that 60 grams of nuts at Woolworths for 50 rand. I eat that in a week. In a week. I know people will be like, gone. No. I eat that in a week because I know my portions. Remember, it's also not knowing how to build a meal. Now your whole snack is the nuts. It's finished. No, you take a few nuts, you team that up with yogurt, you team that up with a banana. Banana is something expensive. So it's a matter of knowing how to build that meal. And you can stretch your money. I promise you, healthy eating is more cheaper than not. Whenever I'm not eating like this, I'm wasting my money and I know it. No, you need guidance. So if you really need guidance, because obviously we've got time here. If you need one-on-one guidance, I am available. We can actually look into it and we can do something on a budget for you. No, I totally understand. Some people were just not brave enough to say it. You're speaking for a lot of people right now. So I think we all need to look into it. But definitely, let's just move on and then we'll take questions afterwards if we do still have time. And then if you are a Weight Watcher, here's a sample menu for you, meaning you are on a low-carb diet, not looking for all those grains. You can just do an omelet. Then here's some nice fish and chips for you. Who said you can't have fish and chips? Can have fish and chips. It'll be sweet potato, baked sweet potato fries and grilled egg. People will say this is expensive, but you can actually buy this even at fish places. You can. I've seen they've got like grilled fish and it's not that expensive. So you can have that meal. And then you can have some chicken with some sweet corn, roast veggies. And then as a snack, you can have your fruit with some yogurt. Don't let these pictures intimidate you. They're just fancy. It's not that expensive. It's not that complicated to make any of these that you see here. So all of the concepts that I've discussed are on here right now. Okay. And then that's my story. And I'm going to take questions. If you want to say maybe get the Phyto Multi, I can order. If maybe there's enough people here who want to order them, then we can make a group order for the Phyto Multi, the multivitamin. then you can maybe have a group order, then it will be cheaper, no costs to delivery and so forth. But also if you want to contact me for something more personalized, you can do so. The questions. So can I please start with the online ones? I don't want them to feel like we're not incorporating them into the conversation. Let's start there. Yes, I take medical aid. All medical aids. Yes, James. Also, there was a hand earlier. It was a hand. Okay, so we can still take their questions, but let's. Okay. Walking, look, yes. But some people, they drag their feet. They're just basically, I don't even know if we call that walking. Brisk walking, let's be specific. Brisk walking is exercise. And you can even count the steps between 5,000 and 10,000 steps. I can call that exercise. But if you're just walking around the park, it's good for your mind and your mental well-being, but not really burning much calories there. Because I'm chasing my twins all day, every day, but I'm not really losing weight now, am I? So your body gets used to those walks. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, the last just now you spoke about energy drinks not being a go-to during studies. So I would like to understand what is a good substitute. For instance, if I take electrolytes directly, like I go buy a electrolyte from, Discam, is that still okay for me?
Okay, so let me answer your last question about the electrolytes. So no, you cannot drink electrolytes because you're not dehydrated. Why are you drinking electrolytes? They don't relate to what we're talking about here or what you need right now. So no, that wouldn't be much of benefit unless you were running 10 kilometers and then you're really dehydrated. However, you ask me what is the substitute then for energy drinks? My love, the key nutrients plus that water, plus that exercise, plus sleeping is a perfect substitute.
So there's none.
So no, there is a substitute. It's a healthy lifestyle. An active, healthy lifestyle is a substitute. You wouldn't even need to go to Monster or Play or whatever if you were doing everything that you're supposed to do. And I know it sounds too simple. People are like, you told us what we already know. Then why are you not doing it? Try it and see if it will work for you. I can tell you now, a healthy lifestyle will solve all your problems in life. And that's how you actually allow your body to get its own energy. Okay, because the reason why you end up going to such is because your body is tired from the lifestyle. The lifestyle is actually fatiguing. So it can't generate enough energy to sustain whatever's going on in your life. So now you get quick fixes, coffee, this, that, So, but if we weren't there in the first place, there would be no need, isn't it? And if you led a healthy lifestyle that's also active, eating just healthy, eating clean, you'd be fine. You'd be perfectly fine. And if you're struggling, then taking the right supplements. I'm going to take the question. Yes, there's a lady just behind you. She had her hand up.
Okay, so I wanted to know if the B12 shots that they sell at Discount, do those work as a supplement?
Just remind me, who are they on the, is it self-medication or?
On the shelves, by the supplements shelf.
I do not recommend you buy anything that is on the shelf. And let me tell you why. Nobody really regulates these things. I remember somebody was in trouble for selling supplements on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I'm not sure what was happening there. And yes, like some doctor, then people had bought these supplements and now they were worried. He's not going to jail. Okay, he's not going anywhere. Okay, so it's like going to buy Muti. Who knows what you're drinking? They're not going to jail. Okay, so anybody can put anything anywhere and have you buy it. So there's not enough. I can't confirm of the supplements you're talking about. What I would recommend you do, rather have the conversation with the pharmacist. If they take you to it, at least you can say, this pharmacist took me to this. Okay, hardly ever you'll find that the pharmacists themselves, they'll take you to everything on the shelf. Some of them, they skip them like they didn't see them. They're like, take this, because you're on your own with the rest. And that is why when I spoke about supplements, I was specific on the brand. I'm not saying now just go there and take whatever B12. She said something about B12, and I don't know. The one that I know is the one that I told you about because there's enough scientific studies on it. Anyone can sell you anything. And yes, they'll continue to be on the shelf, even if they're wrong. Even if they've got negative effects on your body, they'll still be there. We've seen those feminine hygiene things. They're still there. How many times do doctors tell us to not use those things? they're not going anywhere. So please be careful about self-medicating at this time. Make sure that we've discussed the supplements that you're taking, either with a dietitian or with a pharmacist or your doctor. So those ones I wouldn't recommend because I don't think they're the ones you should get. Your doctor will inject you if you need an injection. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have a question. Hello.
What time is it? Yes, okay.
Yes, thank you. So you've displayed what needs to be eaten, but not all of us are going to stand there next. I feel like my stove doesn't even know me, but I stay there with it. So do you have any suggestions of where one can buy these foods? Because then I'm gonna buy McDonald's, rather just buy somewhere where they're gonna give me a pegged.
Did you just say, Vele, you're gonna buy McDonald's?
No, I'm saying instead of buying McDonald's, because Vele, either way I'm buying. McDonald's. So can I rather, do you have suggestions of where to buy the right stuff or the right packed, the pre-packed?
I'm trying to think of the menu. There's vitality meals at some of these stores. I'm trying to think, there was a vitality meal at Nando's. There's a chicken breast with a sweet corn and a salad. So Nando's has that option. Someone said something about Fisher Way's 500 calorie meals. So they are there. You know what I would say? It's better if you have a meal plan in front of you. Then when you're ordering, you can compare what's on the plan to what the menu says. Very difficult to think now because some institutions might have. I mean, I've gone out and I've eaten, say, maybe fillet with spinach and what's this, pumpkin. It was there. I've been to, I don't know, your Doppio Zeros or whatever, and order chicken salad. They're there, but they're a bit pricey. The healthy foods are the pricey ones on the menus. But they're there. It's always better. You said something earlier. You said you and your stove, you don't know each other. See, that's something you'd have to work on. I wouldn't advise you to be complacent with the fact that you don't cook your own meals. Okay. You've accepted. So then you'll have to then pay the chef and order the healthy food then if you're going to have that fancy life problem. Yeah. So, yeah. So if you still have any other questions, you can contact me. Melody, can we take another question? Okay, last question.
Hi.
Hello.
I just have a question about if you kind of like have a sweet tooth, because I feel like I have an unhealthy relationship with sugar. Are there good alternatives to have that are still healthy but kind of like fulfill that sweet tooth?
Okay. I think I'm okay. Let's take the questions and then I'll answer quickly. Time. Sure.
Sorry, I also have a question. Just if you could please give some advice. Sometimes I know it may be unhealthy, but you eat like Maggi 2-minute noodles a lot, and just to like get through your studying or your day. And then they say, no, please, it's unhealthy. Then you replace it with a fruit, and then they say, okay, have some cereal. But you're always feeling hungry. Do you know any specific vitamin that can prevent your stomach from like always growling, wanting to be empty?
Okay, I had a little bit and then I couldn't hear the rest. So the question is, did you get the question, Melanie?
Suppress the hunger.
Okay, so you're struggling with constantly being hungry and constantly wanting to eat. Okay. And you're still hungry. So, okay, let me answer that question first and then I'll come to the first one. So again, you see, the more you focus on work, the more you're working, the hungrier your body gets, the more your brain wants the energy and the nutrients. So that's why it's important to go for low GI carbohydrates, firstly, so that you get your slow releasing carbs. So you mentioned something about noodles. Definitely not a slow releasing carb. I remember I used to eat noodles at varsity. They're not a slow releasing carb. Obviously, you'll be hungry 30 minutes into that. And cereals have a lot of sugar in their process. They're actually not a good option. And also, they're just a carb. You have to then add a healthy fat to that and a protein to that. So you find that your meals, you don't have all your macros in that meal, and then your body's still hungry after that, and then it still wants something. So that's why I said in the beginning, make sure that you not only eat enough, but each meal should have all the macros in there. So there isn't a vitamin or anything that can really suppress that. I mean, if you're studying and you're working, you will be hungry. You can't really suppress your body. Just give it what it wants in the right quantities and the right types of carbohydrates and healthy fats. And then there was a question here as well. Oh, sorry, my love. About again, now we're treating the symptom and not the problem. The fact that you have uncontrollable sugar cravings is actually something that you should address. Sometimes you find that you've got an insulin resistance, we call it pre-diabetes, and you don't know. So you can't just say, oh, I've got a sweet tooth. You're actually 5'2", being diabetic, and you don't even know it. So rather find out why you have the problem and try to address it. It could be a hormonal imbalance as well that you need to actually address. I've seen some people say, no, there's that time of the month, I'm sure I can get away with it. I'm like, you should actually fix this time of the month issue. There are medications that your gynae can give you for PMS that has you eating like nobody's business. So let's not normalize things that are actually medical conditions. Fix it. Okay, there are solutions to some of these things that we are suffering from. Okay, but then again, you said, then what do we do? What we substitute? There are natural sugars. We do have fruit that you could eat if you really want to have something sweet. But like I said, if it's uncontrollable and you really can't control it, rather find out why it's there and try to address it. Okay, I will have to end this presentation here because of time. Those are my details. The sales is for if you want supplements. Otherwise, you can just send me a WhatsApp or go to info@clinicj.co.za if you want me to answer any more of your questions. And we're going to have a follow-up session. There were so many questions that I didn't answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Jay. I think I'm a living testimony of her works. So I used to probably consume more alcohol than water, but now I don't consume very much alcohol, and I at least go through about 3 liters of water a day. And as someone who's very busy with school, so I'm doing my master's, I've got a demanding job. I am actually managing to get my energy levels up with the diet that she's put me on. So guys, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard, but it's doable. And if you guys aren't able to do it now, even in the future, just, to get yourself into a healthy lifestyle and a healthy life. So thank you so much for that, Jay. Her details are on there, and her business card is on there as well as Tino's business card. So if you guys haven't grabbed one, it's on there. And we are drawing closer to the end of our program today. So I will ask Morapi to come and give us some closing remarks. So Morapi is from our sponsor, Investec. I don't think he was here earlier where I said, which means please keep digging deeper into your pockets and, giving more money into these initiatives. So Morapi, if you could come with your closing remarks.